The mental load is the Achilles heel that is taking you out along your motherhood journey. The mental load is the invisible labor that continues to wear you down. The invisible labor of constantly planning, organizing, and remembering and worrying about everything for everyone. It's the running to do list in your head that never turns off, it never shuts down, even when your body does. It's the reason you're tired even when you haven't done much of anything in your day yet. And it's so exhausting because you're spending so much time anticipating the needs of just everyone around you. So it's very important that you manage your mental load so that it doesn't continue to create overwhelm and resentment as you are navigating motherhood, because it's really, you should be focused on rediscovering your identity and reclaiming joy in your motherhood experience so that you can feel vibrant and empowered and fulfilled through your motherhood journey. And things like the mental load specifically really infringe on that and tend to take away from that joy. And I want you to show up your best self for you and your children and everyone else who needs you. The mental load can feel like keeping the family calendar, just keeping all of that in your head. It can feel like remembering school spirit days if your kids are school aged, or remembering the inventory of the groceries. What do we run out of? What do we need to buy? What am I even going to make for dinner? It's keeping a tally of all of the appointments, whether it's dentist appointments, doctor's appointments, the yearly physicals, any specialty visits that you have to do. If you have to meet someone to enroll your child into daycare, or even when it's time to enroll them in school, it's feeling just mentally depleted before the day begins. And the mental load does build resentment and overwhelm over time because it will put you in a spiral of thinking, planning, executing, and anticipating everyone's needs, because we feel like, and I'm talking about we as mothers, feel like we need to be everyone for everybody all the time. And in order to do that, that means you're constantly planning or thinking two, three, and four steps ahead. And it can become crippling, especially because the mental load is not always visible. It's not often that people actually see you scheduling a doctor's appointment or knowing all the answers on the intake form at that appointment. You just see that the appointment it's made and you show up. That's it. Your family may see the dinner you made, but they don't know about the recipe you used, all of the ingredients, how long it took, how many vegetables you chopped, or how long you boiled the pasta. So, to the people you serve, your kids, your spouse, your friends, things are just getting done. And the end result is visible, but not the process. And even you yourself may be diminishing how much work goes into managing your household and raising your kids. And I've heard, whether it's in one on one coaching with a mom or in a workshop that I facilitated, just women saying, well, it's just, a part of life, making the decisions, doing all the planning. I'm the only one who's going to do it. It has to get done. And, this is just how things work. However, if you're doing all of that and you're not getting any appreciation or you're not getting any support, it can start to make you really resent everything about every decision that you make. And you're going to start to burn out from all of the decisions that you are continuously making through a lack of appreciation. And if you are getting the appreciation that you deserve or that you need to feel fulfilled and feel valued in your home, then things may feel a little different. But a lot of us are not getting that because people, our kids, our husbands, our spouse, our partners, they're just used to seeing the end product. They may not even know that there's, something behind the scenes because they're just not not thinking about it. And this showed up for me one day when my husband and I, we didn't have our daughter, and we were just like cuddled up on the couch and we were watching a movie, and we were going to start like a second movie after that one ended. And I said, "Oh, I have to get up and get dinner started." And he was like, "No, just lay back down with me. Let's just watch another movie." And I was like, "Well, no, like dinner isn't magic. We don't have a fairy that just comes in and makes dinner. I have to get up and make dinner if we're going to have what we had planned to have for dinner." And he said this, his response basically was, "Well, sometimes it does, feel like that for me, because he can maybe be out running errands or come in from doing yard work or something, and then a meal is just ready." Um, and him saying that wasn't like, "Well, you do everything for me, and it's great for me because I don't have to do anything." It was just really us both kind of having the realization that there is effort that goes into every single thing that's happening. There is a thought process. There are things that need to be considered. And when you're always on the receiving end, it's not top of mind for you to think about all the things that your partner may be doing. And my husband, I will say, he's very, very appreciative of everything that I do. And the mental load can still be something that can take me out if I'm not being intentional about managing it. So here are a few ways that you can manage your mental load so that you don't get resentful and you're not feeling overwhelmed or feeling like you just want to just walk away from everything. Making the invisible labor visible is a great start toward managing your mental load. So write it all down. Like, you can write it all down when you are journaling, or you can do a full audit of your mental load. That's what I recommend. I include a mental load audit in the mental load reset. I'm bringing that up because the mental load reset, it's $15. It includes the mental load audit and also like a video walkthrough of how to use the audit. And it talks more about like a deeper dive about the mental load and how it impacts you. If you're interested in that, you can grab it at back2in5.com/mom. But making that invisible labor visible is very, very important. And then walking through that with your partner is helpful. Or you can just do it on your own, just so you know, like, why am I so tired all the time? And it's like, because you're doing so much and you're thinking so much. Another good way to approach managing your mental load is to understand how and when it shows up for you. So if you're under stress at work, for example, any additional items added to your mental load are going to probably set you off. So I have a 30-minute commute, roughly 30 minutes to and from work. On a day that I have like a long day where I'm working on a lot of projects, or maybe I'm planning an event until we have an event going on, and then I have to leave straight from the event to get home, pick up my daughter, and take her to dance class, for example, I'm a little more like keyed up. Like, I'm just like, I'm like, on to the next, on to the next. How can I do this efficiently? If I get home to pick up my daughter and she's not dressed for dance class, or she's hungry and ask me to make her something, I'm going to feel like, "Hey, husband, why didn't you take care of any of this stuff? I've been running around doing 8 million things for 8 million people all day. You could have at least done this thing." However, it could have just been a flaw in the matrix that day, or they got stuck in traffic after like pickup after school. There are a lot of factors that could be going on, but I'm going to be thinking about me. Like, I am the one who's carrying the weight and the burden of everything. Now, if this is not done, if we can't get things to run smoothly, now I am inconvenienced, and now I'm stressed out, and I'm going to start maybe going a little crazy. Um, if you don't manage your mental load, it can really suck the joy out of your whole motherhood experience. So really identify how it shows up for you when you're under more stress. It could be like even hormonally when you feel a little more stressed out about it. My mental load really builds like a bunch of pop-up windows. Like, just imagine a bunch of pop-ups going on, and it starts happening to me in the mornings as soon as my alarm goes off. So my morning routine is one focus on slowing down, which is why I wake up, I do a workout, whether it's walking on the treadmill, even when I do strength training, lifting weights and listening to calming music to just slow my mind down to start to organize my thoughts. Um, and then I will typically stretch and, do something to connect with my body and just slow things down at the start of my day, because once momentum picks up throughout my day, I may not get the opportunity again to slow down. And then I can always connect with that pace that I had at the beginning of the day and remember that and have that reflective time. And that keeps me afloat for the remainder of the day, if that makes sense. So, when does your mental load start to build? How does it look? Does it keep you up at night? Like, is it a bedtime thing when your mind starts racing? Is it in the morning like me? Do you get the pop ups? Is it like a midday during lunch? You start getting like, oh, there's all these things that I have to do. What's next? What do I do? Let me know in the comments if it's more of like morning, afternoon, or bedtime and your mental load starts to go a little crazy. Remember, the mental load, it's not just tasks, it's all the thinking that goes into anticipating everybody's needs. And it's not just your kids, it's not just your spouse, it could be your parents. We get to an age where like our parents are aging and they need more support from us. And then we have our kids who are kind of sandwiched in here with like checking in on everybody and making sure everyone is getting where they need to be. And if you carry most of the mental load in your household, you may also be the default parent in your household. So I'm going to talk more about what it means to be the default parent and how to better navigate that and how to like delegate more tasks to the other parent in the next video. So meet me there and I'll tell you more about how to navigate being the default parent.